action photographer. Your first book, Click, I Got You, focused on sports personalities. How did the idea for this book come about?
I like sports. I started with motocross, actually as public relations officer. Bought a camera to, help get publicize the sport, not just with the report, but also with photos. But what I really like about photography is that you don't have to limit yourself to one area. So I started in motocross, and then I started doing football and harness racing and powerboat. And again, there's so many areas of sports. But I like to photograph swimsuit girls. I like to do weddings, small weddings. Weddings create a lot of pressure because you only get one chance to get it right. And nature. I like nature. Butterflies and birds. I think how they just studying and watching what they do. It's real easy in our busy life cycles, that we overlook a lot of things that are going on right underneath our feet, underneath our nose, above our head. We fail to see the beauty in a sunset because we're too busy chasing payment of bills, dollars. And I like to put all that stuff aside, and just go where you just observe what goes on in nature. And I just had collected all these pictures, and one of my sports hard drives crashed. And I kind of got like a little panicky, like I've got all these pictures, I've got a lot of history. How can I better preserve all of this? And the idea of doing calendars and books and posters and stuff like that, I said, you know what? If I can get a book out of this, put my pictures in a book, whether it be a sports book or a nature book or something that archives my achievements or my interests. And basically that's how I got started.
Okay, cool. So how long did it take for you to compile research and then go and shoot the pictures and then have created a final product? Was it a lengthy process?
For me, it was a lengthy process because it wasn't like my main focus.
Okay.
So over an 8-year period, couple of hours a week, I was taking photographs, just photographing. Didn't even have the idea to do a book, and then the idea came to do a life cycle poster. So I done that, and trying to get the posters in the schools, talking to different people, and one thing or the other, and it dragged on for a few years and it never got there. But I was talking to Mr. Richard Winchell, who works at the aquarium and zoo, and he, going back years, was my 9th grade science teacher at Bermuda Institute, and I was talking to him about helping me get some funding to put the books in the school, the posters in the schools. And he said to me, I think it would be more interesting to have a book. And I said, well, I kind of played with the idea of doing a book once before, got frustrated because I don't know how to do design at a good level, layout and design. And a fellow poet, Stephen Johnson, turned around and said, Ross, I'm a graphic designer. I just graduated from college for that. So we worked out a little business relationship and team together, and we done Click together, and we also done Bermuda's Flying Flowers, the book on butterflies. And I got him to freshen up the posters, give them a more polished look. And so we have a good working relationship. We've actually done a few recordings together with the music as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poetry too?
Yeah, dub poetry.
Okay.
I do dub poetry. He's a rap poet, and no one has ever connected those two before.
Right.
So we've done two recordings so far together.
Okay, cool. As I was looking over your book, viewing it, there was one spray in there which butterfly went into its cocoon and then came out.
Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
Moths make cocoons, which are on the ground.
Okay.
Chrysalis hang from a perch of some sort, so there's a difference.
Okay. So it was coming out of the chrysalis, and then how long did it take to do something like that?
From the time the chrysalis cracks until it's fully out, um, 3 minutes, but then it has to hang there for, depending on the temperature and weather conditions, it'll hang there for 45 minutes to maybe a little over an hour until its wings dry. And providing it's not raining or too windy, it'll just take flight.
So it just automatically goes off.
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't go to flight school, just takes off.
So this is a very beautiful looking book.
Thanks.
And it's a very interesting book. What are you hoping people get from it?
I'm just hoping that people are curious to learn. It's an opportunity to see things that they've never seen or just take for granted. Everybody knows the monarch, everybody knows everything about the monarch, but we have 6 other butterflies here, and they have different behaviors. You know, the red admiral hides in a leaf nest, the caterpillar. What they look like and the different color combinations that each one of them have. Depending on what they eat, the cloudless sofa the caterpillar can have any one of 4 different color combinations. And I just find it interesting, and I'm hoping that the pictures and the information that go with the pictures generate curiosity, and with that knowledge. And I mean, some people call me Bermuda's butterfly expert, but I have never been to college or anything. I'm just an enthusiast who loves what he does, and hopefully one day colleges will study me.
No, was it one specific, is it one parish where butterflies is more prevalent than, say, another? And also with that, is it more or less, like, we tend to have, we used to have a lot of open space, and now that dwindles and dwindles and dwindles, and we're taking away that natural habitat. Is that also one of the things you were like, kind of?
Yeah, it's in the book. Yeah, it's in the book, because the 2 important things about butterflies is, number one, they're pollinators. So foods like strawberries, pawpaw, oranges, the things we eat, pumpkin, they need to be pollinated. And bees, flies, different insects, butterflies, they're pollinators. So if we over-industrialize and the pollinators disappear because they need a host plant and they need nectar plants, if they disappear, it's a signal to us that we're destroying ourselves. And the second thing, which just ties right into this, is they are environmental indicators. That's the second thing that they're really good at. If they start to disappear, then there's an imbalance between industry and nature. And we're putting ourselves at risk. Now, not just them. Birds are at risk, butterflies at risk, everything's at risk. Pesticides, they don't just kill pests, they kill everything. And we need to be aware of that.
You mentioned earlier about in the initial things, processes leading up to publishing, you didn't know as much. For this book, what was the biggest learning curve that you had? Did you have a set plan, like having done your first book, your second book, where you like, okay, I need to do this, and then also advertising and getting it out there?
Well, I don't have your traditional education. I don't even have a high school diploma. The school system just never worked for me. What worked for me is my own curiosity. And when you think that people who have published books like plants, birds, butterflies, these are people who go into the bush, into the field, they photograph, they make notes of their observations, and they put that in books, and then you go to college or to school and you learn what it took them years to do. Okay, I'm one of those people. I'm fine with that. I'm not illiterate. I'm not academically as good as I am creatively, But, you know, then you have academic people that have no creative skills at all. What's good for me is that I found my place, I know who I am, and I'm quite happy with that. You know, some people might be the CEO of a company and somebody's got to be the janitor. And if the janitor doesn't do his job, then you all live in mess. So everybody's got to be respected for the part that they play in making society work.
Right, everybody has a part in it.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself heading creatively?
Well, my next project, I'm working on 3 projects, documenting the life cycle of Jamaica's butterflies. I'm working on a book of my poetry, the Psalms of Ras Mykkal. First Mykkal chapter 1. So I do plan on doing maybe 1 or 2 books, but you know, poetry books, and then I would like to do Click Volume 2. So I'm taking a liking to doing books.
Right.
I have some ideas of some calendars that I would like to do. And of course I want to do my poetry and see if I can earn myself a Grammy with my poetry. So I got a few goals in mind.
Cool, cool. So for that kid out there, that person who's looking at this video and they're like, how do I get started? What would you say to them?
Find your place, find who you are, and be who you want to be. There's always going to be people and pressures to fit somebody else's mold. But find out what you want to be and follow your passion, feed your passion. And I mean, I often tell people that there's no education for passion, you know. Be who you want to be, and have a backup plan. You know, I mean, I wanted to be a professional motocross rider.
Right.
And realistically, I'm not, I like riding, I was a good rider, but I wasn't a great rider, I wasn't an exceptional rider. And I had to have a backup plan. If not, I would be in trouble, I'll be in mischief. And follow what your passion is and have a backup plan just in case, you know, the first one don't work out, you have something else that you can fall on to.
Cool. Right. Thanks, Mr. Mykkal.
Thank you for the opportunity. One thing I would really like to say is a very, very big thank you to Butterfield and Vallis for helping me with this project and making it possible to bring it to fruition. I'm very, very grateful to Jim Butterfield and his family for helping me to make this happen.
Cool.
Thanks.